Welcome to solverfy.
So this is the given circuit, and we have to find out the EMF of the battery X and also its polarity, the current that is flowing, I flowing through the 200 volt battery, and the resistance R. So to do that, let us first write out the currents. Okay, so let me begin here. So since this is 5 ohm and the current through, okay, let us first suppose that the battery is positive this way and negative this way. Just supposition, okay? And the current is flowing, suppose this way. If it's the opposite, our answer will become our answer will come in negative, right? So it doesn't matter whichever way you suppose. You can even suppose downwards current, and the polarity also you can change anytime you want, right? So let us now stick with this assumption that X is positive upwards and negative downwards, and current flows upwards. Okay, now since 5 ampere flows along this way and along this there is I, so above there is 5 minus I, right? So let me write here. So this current should be 5 minus I, that is sure, right? Okay, and the current that is flowing here is I, right? Okay, now since for this I there are two equal resistances ahead and they are in parallel, so the current divides equally among these two resistances. So I by 2 flows along this way and another I by 2 flows along this way. Okay, now look at the left hand side here. So the current flowing through out of here is 5 amperes. This is 5 amperes, right? Right. Now, since the ratio of resistance is 2 by 3 here, so the ratio of current should be 3 by 2, because in parallel the ratio of current is inverse, right? So if you want to divide this 5 ampere current into ratio of 3 by 2, then that becomes 3 ampere and 2 ampere. So this should be 3 amperes and this should be 2 amperes, so that they together become 5 amperes, and the ratio is inverse to the ratio of resistances. All right, so I guess we are done. No, not yet. You can even mark this one. So I2 goes along this way, 3 ampere goes along this way, so this should be I2 minus 3. Let me write it here. This should be I by 2 minus 3. I think we are now done with writing or marking the currents at every single point in the circuit. So to begin, let us first, there is one more hint that the voltage across the 8 ohm resistor is 16 volts. So given that the voltage across 8 ohm resistor is 16 volts and the higher potential being down, so the higher potential is downwards, the lower potential is upwards, so the current will flow from positive to negative. So our assumption of 5 minus I, that is the current flowing along this resistance, is correct. So 5 minus I certainly flows along this way, right? So to find that out, how much is 5 minus I? So 5 minus I, that is the current flowing through 8 ohm resistor, should be equal to voltage upon resistance, 16 upon 8. So this gives me I equals to how much? 3 amperes? Wow, such an easy way to determine I. Is there anything? Okay, right. We are already done with part B of the question. Wow. Without doing anything, we are done with part B, that asks us to calculate the current I that is flowing through the 200 volt battery, right? Okay, so we're done with part B. Now, to find out part A and part C of the question, let us consider Kirchhoff's law in two of the loops here. So the first loop is this one, and the second loop is this one. Okay, now for the first loop, let us begin with the voltage 20 and x, as we consider x to be positive upwards, so positive they are facing each other, so x should be negative, so 20 minus x, right, should be equal to, now the potential drops, if you look in the figure, there are potential drops across this loop, along this loop, on 18 ohm, 30 ohm and 8 ohm. For 18 ohm the current is against the loop, current is against the loop, again the current is against the loop, so all the currents are against the loop, right? So for every potential drop we can write minus of the first one is 18 ohms and that has 5 ampere current, so minus 5 into 18. Now the second one is 30 ohm that has 2 ampere current, so minus 2 into 30. Now the other one is 8 ohms that has 5 minus I, and again against the loop, so minus 5 minus I times 8, right? Now we know the value of I here, that is 3, so just plug in the value of I, then you can get the value of x. This gives me x is equal to 186 volts. Wow, we are done with part A of the question, right? So this is what from the first loop. 1, 2. Okay, now let us look at the second loop. Now the second loop, let's begin with the 200 volts. So 200, and another thing, look here. Uh, the value of x comes out to be positive. So yes, our assumption was correct. Positive is upwards and negative is downwards, right? Uh, we have also evaluated the polarity. If we had suppose negative to in the upside and positive in the downside, then we would certainly get x is equal to minus 186, and then we would have to correct that polarity that we assumed. But now no need to correct the polarity, it is good, right? X is positive upwards and negative downwards. So let's carry on now. For the second loop, 200 and the other battery is x, and this is also facing against the 200, so minus x, right, should be equal to, the potential drop is across R and 8. So for the R, there is the current is along the loop, so I by 2 into R, and for the 8 ohm it is against the loop, so minus of 5 minus I into 8, right? So we know the value of I, we know the value of x, just plug it in here. So this must give me R equals to 20 ohm. Now this is the part C of the question. So we are done with all A, B and C of the questions. This is the solution to this question. Thank you for watching.